Twinkle, twinkle, little bat, how I wonder what you're at.
From the patient files of Dr. Jeremiah Arkham, director of Arkham Asylum. Patient Jervis Tetch, also known as the Mad Hatter. The patient suffers from delusions and obsessive behavior. He's obsessed with Lewis Carroll's Wonderland books and believes himself to be a character from those books, the Mad Hatter. Session 4. So, Jervis, how are we doing today?
How are we doing what?
Are you doing good or bad?
I don't know. What is it that I'm supposed to be doing good or bad at?
I mean, how are you feeling?
Oh, well, why didn't you just say so? You should say what you mean. I'm feeling fine, Doctor. Thank you very much for asking. How about yourself?
I'm doing just fine, Jervis.
Well, I'm glad you're doing fine. But just what is it that you're doing fine at?
I don't have patience for this today. I heard you wanted to see me last week.
That is correct.
Well, what is it you want to talk to me about?
Nothing.
Nothing?
Yes, nothing.
Then why did you want to see me?
Because I wanted to talk to you about something. I wanted to see you last week. Last week is not this week.
Jervis, I am so fed up with your nonsense.
Oh, and I'm so fed up with yours, Doctor.
My nonsense? And just what nonsense would that be?
Why didn't you see me last week, Doctor?
Because our session was scheduled for today.
Exactly! That is exactly the type of nonsense I'm speaking of. I don't need you today. But last week I was in dire need of your psychiatric assistance.
What did you need my assistance for?
Oh, it doesn't matter. It is past. You should have asked me that last week. Such nonsense.
Jervis, if you're trying to say that schedules are nonsense, then you clearly understand the real world even less than I thought. I'm running an entire asylum here. I don't have time to appear before you whenever you please.
Oh, I'm running a madhouse, he says. I've never had anything madder in my life. You can't run a madhouse, Doctor. Isn't that the entire point of a madhouse?
This is obviously getting us nowhere, so let's just move on, shall we? The last time we talked about your father and his hat store.
Yes, I so wanted to follow in his footsteps, but as it turned out, life had other plans for me.
Yes, you entered the field of science instead. Quite a departure from hats.
Oh, make no mistake, hats weren't my passion, but my skills were needed elsewhere, you see?
Is that so?
It is, you disbeliever. By the by, this serves as a perfect segue into a tale I'd like to tell you.
A tale? I don't know if I dare.
Oh, but you simply must hear it. It will greatly aid in your analysis of me, you see. Once upon a time, there was the son of a hat maker. This little boy grew up to become a brilliant neuroscientist and eventually obtained a prestigeful position in the science department at Wayne Enterprises.
I've heard this one before.
You have, and yet you haven't.
Whatever that's supposed to mean.
At Wayne Enterprises, this promising and rather devilishly handsome young fellow helped the company reach new heights in the field of neuroscience.
You're not very bashful, are you?
I have no reason to be. Anywho, this young fellow, let's call him Jervis, took some time off each day to work on a little personal project of his own. A hobby, you could say.
Your mind control chips.
Not exactly. Rather the blueprints for a very important component of what would eventually become my mind control chips. Yes, I'll spare you the details. It's all very technical. But the point is, Jervis did this during company hours, in company facilities, using company equipment. What he and he alone had created was therefore not his, despite never even having met Jervis, or ever seen his blueprints, or ever visited his workshop. It was owned by Bruce Wayne. It was Jervis's ideas. Jervis had worked on it. Jervis had spent months on it. Jervis initiated the project. It wasn't even commissioned by Bruce Wayne. Yet Bruce Wayne owned it anyway, not Jervis.
Seems about right.
Does it? Do you know how much money he made using my blueprints for various products that I never even intended them to be used for? 4 billion. So far. And that's billion. With a B. Meanwhile, what did I make during all that time I worked there? Let's see now. I worked for 2 years, was paid $4,000 a month. That's $96,000. The man who did all the work made $96,000. Bruce Wayne, hair-headed playboy, made 4 billion so far.
Do I sense some resentment towards Bruce Wayne? In that case, why haven't you ever targeted him in any of your schemes?
Oh, no, Doctor. You're missing my point entirely. I suspected you would as much. No, Doctor. I feel no resentment towards Bruce Wayne. It's not his fault. It's just the way the world is. It's all a bunch of nonsense.
I see. So what you're trying to tell me is that the world is nothing but nonsense, and that's why you escaped to the comforts of Wonderland.
No, you're still not getting it, Doctor. I didn't escape. I haven't gone anywhere. This is Wonderland. We're all living in it. Anyway, take some more tea.
I've had nothing yet, so I can't take more.
You mean you can't take less? It's very easy to take more than nothing.
Thank you.
Why, that's a very lovely hat you're wearing, Doctor.
But I'm not wearing any hat.
Really? Strange. Perhaps the hat is wearing you? My father always used to say, who's truly wearing who? The man or the hat?